March 27th, 23 days after 21-year-old Texas A&M student Caleb Harris went missing in Corpus Christi, Val and Amber investigate. He has not yet been found.
He's right outside the neighborhood.
The other one that came out is the Four of Swords in reverse, and it made me think of very small spaces, someone sort of hidden, tucked away.
Caleb's remains were found in a small space at a wastewater lift station 4 months after he went missing.
We don't have a lot of detail here. Angel D would like to know if he is alive. From what the chart shows me, I'm getting a no. I think 2 people are responsible.
Coming up.
There is a perpetrator here, and I keep getting money here too. We had the Pisces clues, which of course is water. I mean, anytime somebody is holding a fish, it's, it means Pisces. It's interesting how you see men, especially online, in the dating world, and they're holding fish. And it's like, this could be a man that disappears because that's just the symbol. That's a symbol of disappearances. And we sure saw a lot of fish in this murder case. I was talking with Amber and we were trying to figure out where he was, and the hospital kept coming up. It's like he's so close to the hospital, and the charts were telling us that he was right outside the boundary. And so I'll link that show to this show and you can see it for yourself. But it was like, he's so close. Turns out that the chart was telling us the right clues there.
Val explains that eclipses can reveal triggers.
I want to look at the 2024 lunations, and this is for Caleb. You're going to look at your own lunations. You're going to see something like this. In the past, and we have 2, 3, 4 of these a year, we're going to see these orange moons. That's the lunar eclipse. It's like a super full moon. And you want to see where it lands. If it lands near a planet, then it's probably going to impact you. Then you want to look at the little yellow icon here, and that's a solar eclipse. That's something new. Somebody's starting something. And if that's conjunct a planet, then that could be, something that you're doing, something new that's coming in. So it's a constant flow. So I just put this up here, and I thought if I rectified this correctly, this being Caleb's birth chart, there would be the sun and Mercury in the 3rd house. And so you could see that something is eclipsing. The 3rd house can mean an apartment and certain issues about an apartment. So I think that could be in the mix, in the narrative somehow. Around the end of the year, there is Saturn, which can mean remains. This is the crime chart. Jupiter at 2:30 a.m. is right here. Then he's going to change to Saturn because there is this square here. And there's a lot of Aquarius. Yes, you could make a case for an accident. Only problem with that is that it happens to be in the 2nd house of money. However, it could be a farm too. So the 2nd house is a Taurus house, so accident in the farm. But it's also a theme that we're seeing in this whole case. People are going to wonder, was there an accident or were there people who struck, which you could also see in this chart. But if there was a perpetrator, it does seem that it was financially motivated. Also, if you want to look at the open enemy at that moment, this is at 2:30, it's in Gemini, and Gemini is at 18. And that's what pushes me towards the side of there's something evil, something. And if you have 18 in your chart, doesn't mean you're evil. Might just be, it could represent somebody that you've had to deal with in your life. They were critical. They might be sick. This is something I think that we should pay attention to because there's a T-square here. There's also 22. I think that based on what we know and this chart, seeing these degrees, it would make a case for the fact that there was foul play. Apartments were not allegedly well maintained, no cameras. There are a few other men his age missing in that area, allegedly. Natalie, you said, I'll never forget, you said in one video you did a long time ago that he was near a water sewage type system. You said in water, but not in the ocean. Yeah. And we had zoned in right by the the hospital, which was 6 minutes from where he was. And it was around, I think, that farm. I was wondering, there was a lot of land there. I thought it was kind of construction or something like that. I guess that was the farm. Now we've got a T-square. This is the problem in a chart, and in any chart that you look at, there's going to be somebody there. And here's the thing about Sagittarius. Sagittarius can mean college, a person from college, a college killer. Now, I don't know if who he was living with, or I don't know the details on who could have been in college around him, but it sure looks like there is a perpetrator here, in my opinion. It's too intense. The degrees are too dangerous in the sense of people. Now, Mercury in Pisces and in the third house is people who might have, been smoking pot or doing drugs or something like that. Sometimes it doesn't necessarily mean like a drug deal, but it can mean that there were drugs in someone's system when they were talking, having a fight. And there does seem to be some kind of, now, I wonder if it was when Caleb returned, if he did return home. But here's how it would have to go. 2:44, I think, was the last time they saw him. So he must have gotten the DoorDash, put it in the kitchen or wherever in his apartment, then gone out and, did some Snapchats. Now, was he walking the dog? I don't remember. You think frat brothers? Okay. Well, it certainly looks like people are lying, and if this was a murder, but yet with the third house, this is just a lot of water. This is maybe falling into water, but let's look at the next slide. So this is at 2:40 a.m. Now he turns to Saturn. And Saturn is, and remember I said he was right outside the neighborhood. So walking around. Interesting that 10 degrees, remember we were talking about Capricorn. It's like, what's Capricorn? Well, Capricorn was a government facility. So that 10 degrees really gave us a clue, I think. And so he's right outside here. But with the third house, this is a lot of secret chatting, secret talking. Part of fortune is in there too. So the secret has been kept, maybe, possibly. But what we're trying to do now is we're trying to see who can get to the perpetrator. So we're going to assign the moon as the perpetrator, and the moon is at 22. This is a killer. This is a killer. It could be danger. It's going right into here. And like I said, there were two. Now, a profile of the person could be that there might be a drug history. There might be, the person might have very bright blue eyes. They could be fishermen, which we know Caleb was. This is him. So you can see his picture right here. So, but what was on the perpetrator's mind?
The ninth house, the mindset of a murderer.
Here's another case for why it's a perpetrator to me. We would go 3 houses from the 7th. That would be in Virgo. So Mercury is right here. It seems like something evil was on this person's mind, number one, because of 18, and maybe drugs were on that person's mind. Some kind of secret, I don't know. But there you've got Black Moon Lilith. So basically the worst of the worst, like having a very devious idea in his mind. This is devious when you have an opposition. And I tell my clients this, if I see a square or an opposition in any of their solar returns, I will give a red alert. I will say, this month you might want to go somewhere else. Don't be around your house. So I do say be cautious at certain times. I've heard great feedback that was true. That's not great feedback, but that it was valid. So it's a good thing sometimes when you see that in your chart, and it's almost like a warning. So this is the opposition here. And it's like, it's like, what? It could be religious people, could be a cult, it could be just people who do drugs, and it's around the neighborhood. What do you guys think? That's what I'd be interested in knowing. And let me see what else I have here. This is his transit chart. There's rumors of potential meetup having been arranged via Snapchat or Reddit posts or something like that, allegedly. Interesting. Yes, he was a cute kid. Thanks, Darlene. He had brought the dog back in the house and went out again. That makes sense. Okay, so he was waiting for DoorDash, and that's why he was walking around. Didn't the DoorDash driver arrive after he'd left? The bag was outside. Yes, I remember that. Someone in the house brought in his DoorDash. Got it. Feels like druggish energy, in my opinion. Yeah. I just want to come out and ask: was this an accident? Was this mystery about Caleb Harris just simply an accident? Cards will tell us. Four of Pentacles. That could be a yes, but it's also about holding on to money. It's also being stingy, maybe with money, or frugal. And I keep getting money here too. Somebody's is holding back money. So this could be a profile of what's happening, what kind of energy is happening. Can you give us a clarifier card? I mean, I did ask if it was an accident, and wouldn't that be a yes card? At first, I thought he might have been hit by a drunk driver, but I think meetup gone wrong is also a strong possibility. Okay. All right, so let's do another card for Caleb. Can you give us any more clues as to what happened to him as he was walking outside of his house? No, Darlene, it was right side up. So Pentacles, it was Pentacles right side up. Okay, what happened to Caleb? Can you give us a clarifying card? Five of Cups. See that? So it's kind of like, would that be lost opportunities or just, oh my God, was he looking down a hole? Whoa. Cards are telling me could be more of an accident. Hey, Heather. So it could be an accident. It could be an accident. So let's look in this chart for an accident. The other thing too, water. It's just those degrees. Why am I seeing those degrees? Why am I seeing all of that? Fakery. That's fake. That's something fake. Is there anybody that is dangerous in this whole mystery involving Caleb? 10 of Cups. So I don't know if I could say yes to that, but it looks like maybe somebody could be that somebody is benefiting from all of this, but it sure looks like this is something that you want. This would be a card where it's having everything that you want. Angel says, is there a car near him? I feel like he got into a car. I mean, the third house would be a car. It would be a hidden car. The Four of Pentacles really gets me because I do feel like there was some kind of financial element. So let's go to the transit chart for Caleb. What would you do when you look at something like this and you're like, ugh, like, what do I do with this? Where do I start? Well, we want to look at squares, which are the red lines, and oppositions. We also want to look to see where Saturn is. Saturn is kind of like the Grim Reaper, giving us kind of themes from that. And always want to look at Black Moon Lilith. So here's why I don't believe it's an accident. Now, please tell me what the cards are telling me, because it looks as if, I mean, you could read those cards that he was trying to make a decision, or maybe he was regretting a decision. I don't know. But look at this Black Moon Lilith right on Mars. This is a very nasty person. And oh my God, look at this. I didn't even see this when I first pulled this. You've got a T-square here. This is fighting. This is a big fight. Pluto is right there. This is a fight with college students. Mars conjunct Black Moon Lilith. This is as nasty as it gets. I mean, these are two people. They could be older than he is because of Saturn and the conjuncting Mercury, but the third house rules an apartment. And there's Mercury, transit Mercury ruling his third house. Is it possible that some people worked around there and they knew that it was there? I don't know. All right. But this T-square, I'm sorry. I am going with my initial feeling that this is jealousy. I think this has to do with living situations, people who he knew. And I'm going to go back to the cards. So who should the police question in this mystery in order to get more information, more helpful information to solve this? Two of Wands. This looks like someone, when you have a reverse Two of Wands, it's actually good because the person is ready to speak. And before, maybe they didn't want to. They were trying to figure out if they wanted to speak or not. So this could be a witness. And let me look a little bit more. Caleb Harris. Let's look at Reddit. I just want to see a few things that they're saying here. I don't want to be crass, but no sign of homicide on a badly decomposed body doesn't mean much. If he was killed by any damage to his soft tissues, it would not show up at this point. Yeah, that doesn't make sense. The ditch is stormwater. Where they found him was wastewater. Stormwater is connected on the surface by gutters for rainwater to run off into. Wastewater is connected to homes and businesses to go to a wastewater treatment plant for purification before discharging. They aren't connected at all. This guy says car hit him and killed him. Whoever hit him disposed of his body. I've always suspected a drunk or even sober motorist hit him because it was foggy that morning. I believe they got scared. They'd be in trouble for whatever the reason may have been and hid the body as quickly as possible and got out of there. Yeah, freak accident seems plausible to me. So you think it was a drunk driver? I think that's a possibility. The third house is so difficult because you could be talking about an apartment building. And that's the clue that Amber and I got this last Royal show about a fire and twins and an apartment building. And it was 24 hours later when twin buildings went up in flames in East London. The third house can be apartment buildings. All right, so let's ask if it was a drunk driver. Because you would think that they would know, like somebody putting something into a well, or not a well, it was like a wastewater lift. There's no entrance, is there? Is this a drunk driver? Four of Cups reversed. Says no. This is no. Who is the perpetrator? Two of Cups. So weird about that because I keep seeing Libra. So it seems like there could be a couple involved. I think that could be also a good clue. This is what is the problem here. The Black Moon Lilith and Mars. This is just pretty nasty, I think. I put him as a Leo rising, and in his birth chart, Mercury at 8 degrees is in Libra. So this is somebody who's either married or there's a couple of some sort. And so that could play in. But I think one of the biggest clues is that he has Jupiter squaring Jupiter here. Jupiter for him rules the 5th house. This is fun. This is girlfriends. This is a park. And there's something that is going on that is in conflict here. It could be an open space of some sort. So what do you guys think? I don't know if it was a drunk driver. I think they would have just sped off. I really do. One woman, blue eyes. Allegedly. What do you mean? Lover's card upright. So I wasn't expecting to get that clue tonight. There was a talk of a meeting at a park near his apartment. So with that said, the crime chart. He's here. He's right near all these people. There are people who are talking about something Piscean, and that could be drugs. And they could have been very, very successful because of part of fortune there. Also, keep in mind that Mercury in Pisces, and I think I said this last time, that's pills. Not to say that Caleb had anything to do with that, but he could have been right on the outside of the boundary and seen something like that. So I I think I'm gonna have to agree with Serafina, especially with Black Moon Lilith there. These are some really nasty people. With the moon would represent female. So there could be a female involved. Now, what can the police do to find the truth? Well, it looks as if they're not having much luck. And the reason for that is we've got Mars. I mean, the body was found, which was good, but Mars is squaring Uranus. And sometimes that can mean that they're either from not be good at tracking down leads on the internet to people get fired or they quit in the middle of the case. It's kind of like interruptions to the police, and that can delay things. So that's one thing that can happen. You got the moon card upright. Oh, wow. So yeah, some feminine energy there. I think the Reddit posts he made makes most sense. Meeting someone if it's been proven to be his account. Ah, okay, okay. He could have been involved with drugs. We don't know that. And a lot of times people order food and, maybe buy something. So that could connect everything together if we were to say something like that. It makes sense. If he was carrying cash on him to pay for something, then they just took it. Another psychic said a gang mistook him for an informant and tortured him. I know, that's what I was thinking too, Darlene. So this is as nefarious as I think. And with the 18 degrees with Mercury, that's two evil people. Squaring that moon there, it's weird because the open enemy is in Cancer. And so the moon is in the 12th house behind him. So it's almost like somebody comes up behind him, even though there were no injuries that the police could see. Uranus here and squaring. So this is a strike, okay? Because there is a sextile to the sun, this could be a drug exchange, exchanging drugs. And the money part didn't go so well. Now, there could also have been some kind of argument, which is what I'm seeing. The end of the matter is the fourth house. And look how the fourth house is in Aries. Somebody's pissed off. Like maybe he was like, I thought you said 40. No, man, we said 400. And and they already had his money. It just seems like there's something that is really, really making someone here very, very angry. Now, who were the witnesses? There were witnesses. There are witnesses right there. It was so late at night, though. Let's see if we can look at clues about the perp. How about that? So we've got the third house. We already looked, and that is Virgo. So that can be like a worker, somebody who has a manual job, a 9 to 5 type of hourly job. And also Virgo was on this person's mind. Could be a healthcare worker, could be somebody who's very critical of what's going on. So we want to look at what they do for a living. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Jupiter maybe works at the college. What does this person do? He could be working at a college because Sagittarius represents college. So much Pisces, God, and there's so many hospitals around there. So, he could work in a hospital. Now, you can also look at the goal. You count, and the food was ordered for lunch on Monday and for a fishing trip snack later in the day after college classes. Okay, so the goal of the perp is going to be the 11th house from the 7th. And weird how it was right by a farm, too. We've got Taurus. Taurus means money. That is the goal. The goal is to get the money. And there's an interruption here. And there is a man and there is a woman. My work is done. It says it all right here. There are drugs here. How are the police how are they going to find who did this?
Mars reveals the strength of the investigation.
And you know what? It does look like there's a connection. You can see this little sextile here from the police, and they're connecting with this person somehow. Could be online, but this person could have done some jail time, could be already in jail. But it seems as if there's somebody who is in prison who is helping the police somehow. That's a possibility, or they already spoke to this person. But I think this is very, very promising here. This mini grand trine, it shows a flow, of information. It almost shows that they're able to identify this person online because of Aquarius. What's the biggest clue to find the perpetrators? I wonder if this is that he was put there, not necessarily that he fell. Look at this. Four of Pentacles, meaning there wasn't enough money. There was some kind of miscommunication about the money. No, you can't take all of my money. And there might have been a couple that was involved. This might be a witness. Four of Cups, and maybe they were stuck, but now they're not because it's reversed. And then 10 of Cups. Person could come from a place that you're not expecting. Maybe there's a family involved. Somebody with a family. You know, Vernon, I was thinking the same thing. That's so weird. Could the cards indicate a blue-collar worker for the sewer system? Yes, because Virgo is a worker. They would know. I mean, that would be a really stupid move on their part, but it definitely shows that this person knew the environment. Can we get a clue about finding this perpetrator? What can the police do? 5 of Wands. This is a competition. It seems like just asking a lot of people. This is a fire sign. There's a lot of people involved. This is a network, I think. Was his phone not recovered? I don't think it was. That's a big clue too. I mean, he should be right there. If he just fell, it should all be right there, right? I think we're onto something, you guys, that this is foul play. We're going to continue to monitor this. Consider getting a reading. I have a special, the Destiny calendar, very popular lately. I finally caught up. I've got 3 more to go if you're waiting. And you can go to astrologywithval.as.me. Check out the Destiny calendar. It's a 12-month prediction for you, personalized. Pretty crazy the predictions you can get. I know. Thanks, Meg. Thanks everybody for writing in and talking to me and letting me talk out loud. That one card with like the well or the hole, that really threw me off, but I still don't think it was an accident. I really don't. Not with that 18 and 22 in the chart. So thanks, guys, and I'll see you next time.